Okay, part 2, the same class, water level controls. So we talked about that in power plants. Water level is very, very, very important. Why? Especially if you have actually in any hydronic system. What's a hydronic system?
Anything with water.
Anything with water, steam, water, glycol, they also call it hydronic. So water level is important. Why? Because if you have low water, what will happen?
It could like ruin your boiler.
Ruin your boiler, it will crack, it will overheat.
Explode.
If you have water in the boiler and you keep adding temperature, what will happen?
Boiler's not gonna explode.
Explode. Or it's gonna like.
If you have water,
Oh, you have water?
yeah. What is the temperature of the boiler?
Boiling.
Which is,
212.
yeah, it's gonna stay there until you finish the entire amount of water. Then you're gonna see a rapid increase of temperature. The oil burns at 650 degrees Fahrenheit continuously. So within half an hour, you're gonna see an increase in temperature, and it will crack your boiler. Hopefully, it doesn't build pressure. If it builds pressure, as Ian said, we will have an explosion, and we don't want that. And it could be awful. So even hot water tanks, if they don't have the proper vents and build pressure, what would happen? They will build a lot of pressure, and eventually it will explode. And we remember that Mythbusters episode when they tried to see would actually a water tank explode, and it went through 3 ceilings, 60 feet into the air.
I watched that show for that.
Yeah, me too. I think it got really bad at the end, but the first few episodes were really fun. So it does build a lot of pressure. It is, I mean, steam does move trains, moves ships, so it can move. It has a lot of power in it. So water level needs to be maintained at the burner for overheating, and so we don't have water flow. We need the right amount of water. In steam, if you overfill the tank, what will happen? If you have more water than you're supposed to.
You'll get OC.
No?
Anything. It won't work.
We didn't cover that yet, but you'll have a lot of knocking,
Oh, like.
Really? Oh, because you
A lot
got
of
more
down-
water.
a
Water.
lot of hammering, bang, bang. Water hammering happens whenever steam meets water.
Yeah.
So whoever designed the system designed it to have the proper amount of water and steam. Otherwise, it's not going to function properly. Lower cutoff mechanism, either the float, which is very simple, very primitive, it does work. They have more sophisticated ones, but it does work. It shut off the water. We also have some kind of sensors that sense temperature using electrodes. Electric probes, relays. Explosions. Steam pressure controls. If steam used in heating, there must be a steam control cutoff. What did we say is the limit for residential? How many PSI?
3.
2. Brody said 3, and I said that was close. 2 PSI. Please, if you have time, go on Blackboard. There is a file called CMR 41. Download that. Try to read it. This is where the test is going to be about. So they have all the codes for Massachusetts. Actually, don't download that. Go online, look it up, get the new one. Because they always update things. And that one is like 3 years old. So download that and get the information. So steam has to be 2 PSI. We have solenoid with a diaphragm. I didn't even spill that. Okay, I did. Hey, good. I always mess up the G. Why is a G in there?
Who
Diaphragm.
knows?
Diaphragm. So solenoid with a diaphragm to shut off the valve. Operate the safety relief valve to cut off switch. What is the standard pressure for household or residential relief valve? You don't know that, just guess.
5.
Huh? No. No.
35 PSI.
31.
What? That's a weird number.
Yeah. This is the maximum.
Ah.
This is like the danger zone. Danger zone. Okay. After that.
Kenny Loggins?
So it has to pop at 31 PSI. It does sound scary when it does.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's a big boom. But actually it's for safety, so it's good. Every time you do maintenance on a steam or oil or water, go and check the safety valve for residential. How do you do that? Just
Oh.
pop it open. Turn, of course, you have to, the equipment has to be running at normal pressure. You go and pop it, it should let out some steam. If it let out some steam and doesn't close, you know it's bad, so you have to change it. Shut off the system and go and change it. It's supposed to be tested and purged every year. There's an expiration date with a seal tube printed on it, so it has to be changed. That's a safety valve. Again, steam is very, very common. You're gonna have a lot of steam in Western Mass. It's been there for a while and it's still there. This is something called the Aquastat. The Aquastat is a trade name for Honeywell Control. Honeywell is one of the biggest control companies. They do the Aquastat, they do some other controls, industrial controls. So the Aquastat it became the generic name for it. It's kind of like the Kleenex, which
Yeah.
tissues, so we call them just Kleenex even though it's a brand. So Aquastat is a brand. It's not actual equipment. So, I mean, there's a lot of those things. Like they named after the brand because we just used to them. So this is basically a bulb filled with liquid. This is the old designs. It's still there, it's still functioning, it does the job. It's filled with liquid, mostly I think alcohol mixed with some oils. And when it expands, it will press on a diaphragm to give you an indication of the temperature here. And that will open or close a switch. You will see those on hot water tanks. You will see those in steam systems. They're very common. So the new ones now are replaced with electronic ones. And instead of the bulb, what do you have? Looks the same, but it has a thermocouples in it,
No.
in a casing, plastic casing. Remote bulb thermostat. Again, these comes in different length. It is calculated. So when you purchase one of those, do not change the length without checking the label. Because again, the expansion of this liquid inside the bulb is calculated to indicate certain temperature. Otherwise, you're gonna mess it up. Aquastat operates on the principle of liquid expansion. This is a tube that is sealed. If the tube leaks, it's gonna malfunction. If you bend this too much, it has a kink in it, no bueno, not gonna work. So make sure the pipe is smooth, it has the liquid in it. Let me show it. I had a loose one at some point. So this is, I think this is a filled one. This is an empty one. You can tell the noises that makes it a little bit different when it's empty and when it's full. And again, once it's kinked, it doesn't function anymore. You pass those two.
Oh, that's a capillary tube?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
capillary tube. And they can be replaced with
Yeah,
thermocouples.
this one's full. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Air temperature controls, also known as a thermostat. So these are the basic bimetal that expands and changes shape. So because those two metals are stuck together, they expand and contract at different rate because they are different, right? So if you have copper and steel, they're not going to expand at the same rate, but they're stuck together. So one of them is shorter than the other, so it will bend. And we use that bend to disengage a switch or engage a switch. And usually, those are the contacts, and sometimes they have a magnet in here. Once it gets close enough, it will snap in. And also they used to have a liquid metal mercury bulb that will do the connection. Why is that? Why do we want the snap action? We don't want to be closer than connect. No.
More accurate.
Huh?
More accurate.
Close. What else?
Not arcing, is
Yes,
Yeah.
we don't want the small little spark. We don't want to be close enough that it will start arcing, and that will cause a spark. And it could be a problem because, not because of the movies, action movies, we let the gas out. Not because of that, because eventually the contacts will start to oxidize with arcing and stop functioning. And for the longest time, they had a bulb filled with mercury that was, once you tip after a certain point, it will snap. So these are the controls.
Oh, question, is this like the basis on, our high and low temperature sensors?
Yeah.
In our circuits?
Yeah,
Is that, okay.
bimetal concept, snap action. It could be magnet, smaller magnets that will snap together within reason, and or mercury. Kevin. Digital thermometer, they have less moving parts. They are based on thermocouples. They more accurate. This thermostat here is the old one. We changed that to the new one, which is basically battery operated. And the battery, by the way, is only for the screen and the thermocouple. So if the battery is low, it's not going to function. That's one of the drawbacks of that. Because if you run out of battery, the whole thing doesn't work and you have to go to your battery. But it's very accurate, it lasts for a long time, and they are programmable. Question?
What about the ones that
Hold on, guys. Yeah,
do you know about the new ones that you can now control with the phone or like?
Oh, like the
they're kinda
Nest?
yeah, they have the Nest, they have the Honeywell,
Yep.
Wi-Fi. They have actually the Nest one is really inviting Skynet into your house. It kind of memorize your routine. Actually, it's all
Yeah, it
over
does.
now.
It
Because I think it has a camera in it too, an emotion sensor. Yeah,
Oh, like it knows when you walk
somebody's
into
there.
like, the room.
Whether it's a pet, it's you, it's somebody else in the member that took data. So it's too much data. You know why a lot of those guys, why all those internet services are free? They're using the data, which information is valuable. They know all your information, and when they collect a lot of data, that's
Information is
Yeah,
power.
there's Alexa's.
that's a mine for them. So it's very important. And in that 40 pages agreement, you signed up to a lot of things.
40 pages, that's short.
With small little font. So it works with thermocouples to measure voltage. We talked about that as well. This is what you're holding in your hand. No, actually, this is similar, but it's not the same. This is for flame detection. It's very old. It's not used anymore. Actually, it is used still. If you have it, you can keep it. But if you're going to update, probably you're not going to be allowed to use that. So in here, you see a small bimetal that expands and trip this switch. That's called bimetal heat detector. And can you imagine that this thing used to be was used to prove flame? So we're gonna wait for the flame to heat the bimetal to expand to trip the thing. Guess how much time does it take
For what?
for this to realize that there is fire in the chamber?
15 seconds?
No.
30 seconds.
Huh? What's it 90? Yeah, it is 90.
Still 90 minutes?
This is 90 because it's going to take a while for the air to heat, to hit the metal, to
Oh.
expand the metal, and trip the switch. So it takes time. So they are there. We use them for sometimes to know if there's hot air, but using this for flame detection is no longer the code.
Oh, yeah. The
But
new
if you
ones.
have them in your house and it's been functioning, it's okay. It's grandfathered in. No big deal. Okay, I think I'll stop here. I will